Hi, I'm Eleni and I'm here back with the same set of triads we have another video for regarding person's power making change. Now, some of the questions coming in were, well, what if some people resist talking to people? So I'll just summarize what we did in the other video. This is a call center where someone who was young, an entry level, comes into a call center, first job in his life, and he starts to feel sad and lonely and isolated in a call center because everybody's in their cubicles, nobody talks, people eat at their desk, there's no communication. And so he was wondering what he could do, and after talking he realized, well, if he wants to feel happy and engaged and close to people, he could do things regardless of his position power. And he decided to invite people to lunch, to start bringing in music and goodies, to decorate his space, to create some socializing between people. And in the end, he got 150 people in that call center, maybe not to talk to everyone, but they were social enough that everyone felt better. They would go to lunch together. They would be more of a group instead of people who happened to be individuals who worked there together. Now, some people asked me, well, did everybody want to be social, or didn't some people resist this and say, I don't want to go to lunch, I want to just do my job? Or maybe people who are attracted to call centers are introverts and they just want to do something that doesn't really create or demand a lot of socialization. Yes and no. So firstly, this person didn't happen to meet resistance, but let's say they did. Let's say this person said, okay, talk to people, engaged, having lunches, bringing in music, decorating their spaces, being more as a group. And some people stayed on their own. It's their choice. I think when we want to use a triad that brings us to feel better, then when we feel better, then we respond differently to people and therefore treat them usually in better ways, and therefore everyone feels better. Now, if some people still say, I would just want to be on my own, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that's resisting this, like, party with us. Maybe they're not in the mood, maybe they need focus, and if they start to socialize, they may get distracted. We don't know. We'd have to talk to them specifically. But I think if we respect their needs and their boundaries, that's much more important than them being included in our way. So we can include people and respect people by also respecting the space they need, their approaches, but leaving an open invitation that you're always welcome. If you need something, maybe someone can slip a piece of cake on their desk. They may throw it out, who knows. But it's really signs that they are included and they can choose to what level. So that's how I would say, in this context of a call center, how we might respond to someone who may look like they're resisting our, tendency to be more social. Now, as a coach and someone who always looks at the deeper of things, I would always ask, what is behind that? Because, as from another video, we have this basic needs. The human basic needs are always to belong. We need that to live, to feel safe, to survive, and to thrive as humans. So I would wonder, okay, if that's a basic need and someone is rejecting that, saying, I don't want to belong to you all, maybe they have belonging in their family. Maybe they have belonging in their community. They don't need belonging at work. They just need to focus in their minds, and they can only focus in one way or another. So we can always question things and remain open and get to know someone in a broader sense, because maybe their needs are getting met in a different place and they don't need all their needs met in any and every context. So we can just be kind of sensitive and respectful of their own capacity to decide what's best for them in a context that we make warm and we make inclusive to everyone. Make sense? So that's one way that we can respond to people who may be resisting, in our minds resisting, or who, we think are antisocial, but, people have, even the basic social needs at everyone has even basic social ability to look at someone, to make a gesture, to move their body in one way, just to give a message. So I think the story is always to have hope and always to invest in relationships, even if it looks like it's not working. Because when we create a warm context, that people who look like they're, on their own, they're still included. And so they can still feel included. And then they can choose when they're ready to be maybe more social in ways that the other parts of the group want to be. Make sense? So the question for you could be, where in your life have you tried things to bring people together, to respond maybe to a tense team meeting, and people stay either closed or even guarded? And you can wonder, what triad do you bring to that resistance or close, keeping closed? What triad do you bring to that? Do you resist that, or do you accept that and say, okay, but I'm still open if you want to chat anytime? So that would be an interesting exercise, and feel free to give us some feedback.